Hey guys, part 2 of MasterofSweetness Trace, or Trace, depending on what language you prefer. 3, die, and I can't remember the French one, but anyway. So continue my discussion on the taxing the wealthy. Like I said earlier, before we ran out of time, the tax discussion that is really what Obama is about is individual taxes, not necessarily taxes on corporations directly or businesses directly. And they always spouse out how raising these taxes hurt job creation. Well, like Keith Overman says every day on his show, which is now on current TV. So, John Boehner, where's the jobs? Yeah, the Republicans and their Bush era tax cuts have been in for 6 years now, and supposedly the tax cuts were made so jobs can be created. So yeah, where are the jobs? If they're supposedly to help job creation, why aren't there more jobs? Speaking of jobs, never mind. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, how can they say taxing individual wealth hurts job creation when so far they've been basically living up for free almost, and still there's no job creation? Answer me that, Republicans. Yeah. So, like I said a few videos ago, towards the beginning of my vlogging thing, instead of worrying about income tax, we should replace it with a federal sales tax, a blanket federal sales tax. You buy something and the sales tax is automatically added into the product you buy, and that should be the end of it. No loopholes, no nothing. Sales tax, you buy something, the tax is already ingrained into the price. End of story. Country makes money. Well, makes money to pay off this huge debt we're in. So yeah. Which is also, I've learned that there's at least, according to Wikipedia, there's 400 or so billionaires in America. And if we only tax them by 1% more, we are guaranteed $4 billion. And that's not including we're guaranteed at least $4 billion by simple math. And then it goes up from there depending on their actual income. And I mean, there's one thing. Yes, you've earned the $1 billion you've accumulated, but it's one thing to. It's not like all the money you get goes directly to the country or something like that. And it just boggles me. Boggles my mind to hear they're complaining basically over getting like $1 billion instead of getting $999 million instead of the $1 billion. Yeah. They have the gall to do stuff like that when everyday people can barely make ends meet most days, where the taxes are crippling us. And since there's no jobs, it's kind of hard to pay those taxes and feed our families and take care of ourselves and our families if we get sick or go to school. Yeah. So yeah, federal sales tax, no loopholes in the story. Furthermore, I just was watching on Keith Olbermann last night how they were talking about a corporate tax holiday where for one day they have the corporate people would be allowed to bring in their monies from offshore, and at a reduced tax rate, say like 5%, which is compared to the actual 35% tax rate on corporations. The motif or motive behind this, as those that back this kind of thing, is that since they're not going to be taxed as heavily with them bringing money, they'll be putting it towards jobs. Well, according to Countdown with Keith Olbermann, can't remember the guy's name, but the guy they were talking to about on that show, saying how they tried this in 2004 and still there was no job creation from this, and they expect us to believe that this time it'll work, or they act like the first time didn't really count or something. Now, my solution is this: since corporate giants or corporations in general put their money in offshore or foreign investments or whatever, and foreign holdings and securities and whatever, so because our taxes are too high according to them. Well, I think the way to get around that is kind of have an export tax, if you will, on every time an American corporation takes their money and transfers it to a foreign bank, they have to pay like a transferal fee or transferal whatever you want to call it, and that money goes to the U.S. government. And yeah, because that would definitely not only get down on corporations doing that, but for ones that are still greedy enough to try to hoard their money, we still get the necessary amount, or at least some of that, when they try to hide their stuff away. And it'd be one thing if they had families to take care of, and frankly, with the kind of money these corporations are making, if their family's not already taken care of, then they themselves have their own problems to deal with. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. Oh, and speaking of jobs, yesterday I had an interview at Regions Bank, and I was all excited and prepared to answer any question they had. And the bewildering thing was, I was basically turned away, not because I was underqualified or even overqualified. I would have kind of been okay with that, because at least they looked at my qualifications. But it was because my school schedule, which I won't know until the springtime, because that's when I'll have to take my next class, may conflict with the work schedule, since they don't work around those. Yet I told her that my school, Millsaps College, oh, there it is, mirror, sorry, right there, Millsaps College, cooperates with the student and tries to work the schedule around so that they can both go to work and school without much conflict. And despite me telling her this, she still said that until you get the schedule thing resolved, that basically I'm SOL, basically. So yeah, that kind of ticked me off and got me really thinking about all this job creation stuff, because people like big bureaucratic places like Regions Bank and others try to find any excuse there is to not hire somebody. Yet they claim they create jobs, but maybe it looks good on paper. Maybe they say they have jobs created, but they look for any excuse to not hire anybody. I mean, that excuse about my schedule conflicting, that I don't know until 4 months from now. 5 months from now. Even though the schedule at school would be flexible, that excuse is just appalling to me, because she didn't even bother looking at my qualifications, and it was for a part-time bank teller job anyway, so it's not like I was doing some heavy thinking on that. So yeah, any excuse to not hire somebody, have the now hiring sign up just so they can say they created jobs, just to make proper propaganda, I guess. So yeah. Oh, finally, in the Democratic primary, is going to have a runoff. The Mississippi Democratic primary is going to have a runoff August 23rd. So, if my Democratic comrades, if you missed perhaps the last primary like I did, because I thought it was just for Republicans, or you want to support your favorite Democratic candidate, once again, remember the date, August 23, for the runoff. And if you so kindly would, please leave any comments you'd like to have on this. Try to keep them clean and on topic. And yeah, thanks guys, see you later.